What's going on, family? Shalom. It's your boy Patai Williams, 901, and I'm back with another video. Oh yeah, y'all already know I'm repping my area code. So, anyways, what's been good with y'all? What's going on? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling about the world right now? How y'all feeling about the election or whatever they trying to call what the hell going on right now? How y'all feel about this pandemic that's I don't want to say playing out, but the way the pandemic is going and these vaccines just now rolling out. Y'all thinking about getting the vaccine or what? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on in y'all heads? What's going on in y'all mind? I know what's going on in mine. So y'all already know. People been asking me, especially my people, about December 21st. Everybody want to know what's going on December 21st. All the black people want to know, is we getting powers on December 21st? What's going on? Is the world going to end December 21st? You know what I'm saying? People asking questions left and right. Don't nobody know what's going on. All people know is it's going to be a conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn, and it's supposed to be a planetary alignment. Also, if you didn't know, December 21st is the Winter Solstice. So, in a lot of different societies, this is the day where the sun would halt or stop in the sky in its relative position for 3 days. So the sun would die for 3 days or whatever, and then it would rise again. So it's not what people consider to be the 3 days of darkness, like the light of the sun goes out for 3 days and then the sun turns back on or comes back on or it lights back up or something like that. It's a time where the sun, matter of fact, I'm finna Google it for you. I need that. Okay. Um, the winter solstice, Hayamal solstice, or hibernal solstice, which the prefix is hiber, like hibernation, also known as midwinter, occurs when one of the Earth's poles has its maximum tilt away from the sun. It happens twice yearly, once in each hemisphere, northern and southern. For that hemisphere, the winter solstice is the day with the shortest period of daylight and longest night of the year, when the sun is at its lowest daily maximum elevation in the sky. So this is what they call the descent and the rise of the sun. So when it's at its lowest daily maximum elevation in the sky, the sun is considered to be dead, and it stays like that for, I believe, 3 days. I've seen people say it stays like that for 3 days, but until I find other information on it, I'm just speculating. So for 3 days, and then after that third day, it's back to its maximum elevation in the sky, I guess, or whatever. So this is like the death and the rebirth of the sun. That's basically what people call it. They call it the death and the rebirth of the sun. At the pole, there is continuous darkness or twilight around the winter solstice. Its opposite is the summer solstice. Also, the Tropic of Cancer or Tropic of Capricorn, depending on the hemispheres, winter solstice. The sun goes 90 degrees below the horizon at solar midnight to the nadir, whatever that is. The winter solstice occurs during the hemisphere's winter. In the northern hemisphere, this is the December solstice, usually 21st or 22nd of December. And in the southern hemisphere, this is the June solstice, usually June 20th or 21st. Although the winter solstice itself lasts only a moment, the term sometimes refers to the day of which it occurs. Other names are midwinter, the extreme of winter, or the shortest day. Traditionally, in many temperate regions, the winter solstice is seen as the middle of winter, but today in some countries and calendars, it is seen as the beginning of winter. In meteorology, winter is reckoned as beginning about 3 weeks before the winter solstice. Since prehistory, the winter solstice has been, what the hell is prehistory? Anyways, the winter solstice has been seen as a significant time of year in many cultures and has been marked by festivals and rituals. It marked the symbolic death. Okay, there we go. It marked the symbolic death and rebirth of the sun. The seasonal significance of the winter solstice is in the reversal of the gradual lengthening of nights and shortening of days. All right, so yeah, I'm not gonna get into all that. So yeah, but anyways, like I said, it was the 21st is the day of the winter solstice, as well as the conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn, as well as a planetary alignment. So they say. So, what does that mean for humanity? What does that mean for us on the earth? What does that mean for humankind, mankind? What does that mean? All right, so I will refer you to Revelation chapter 12. Why would I do that? Because in September of 2017, on September 23rd, there is what people like to refer to as the Revelation 12 sign. And if we go to Revelation chapter 12, you get the woman and the dragon. Starting at verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up to God and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. I want to say that's 3.5 months. No, wait, no. 3.5 years. My bad, not months. All right, but I'm going to stop right there. So, why is that significant? Because a lot of people viewed that as, well, a lot of Christians viewed that as a sign of the rapture, which obviously didn't happen because there is no such thing as the rapture. But it was significant because it was a sign of the times that we were about to move into. So if you've been following my channel for a while and watching my videos, and if you follow me on any type of social media, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever, TikTok, I've always said that nothing of true significance would happen until 2020. Excuse me. So, even in 2019, when people were making these videos about the 400 years, the 400-year prophecy, the 400-year captivity of Israel or Yisrael being up or ending, I should say. I even made a video about the 400-year prophecy from 1619 to 2019. I said that nothing of significance would happen until 2020, until after the 400 years had ended. So if it was from 1619, if the captivity of Israel was from 1619 to 2019, that is right at the 400-year mark. But I was telling people that nothing would happen until after the 400-year mark. So some people believe the captivity began in 1619. Some people believe it began in 1620. So between 1619 and 1620 to 2019 to 2020 is when something of significance was going to happen. So a lot of things happened in 2019, nothing of real significance or importance to me that I could remember. But what happened immediately within the first 3 months of 2020? I pause, so if we have any Blues Clues or Dora the Explorer fans, anyways, COVID-19 surfaced in March, or they came out with the news reports of COVID-19 in March of 2020. Within the first 3 months of 2020, we have this worldwide pandemic. So I know for a fact, never mind, I'm not going to say that in this video. They might flag it or something. Just know that COVID has been around for a while. There are different strains of COVID. That's why COVID-19 is COVID-19. COVID is a form of the SARS virus, which I can't tell you what SARS stands for right now. I don't remember. It's but SARS is a respiratory disease or a respiratory virus. So COVID is a type of SARS. But the thing is, it's never been a pandemic before. It's never been considered a pandemic, I wouldn't say highly contagious, but contagious and, You know what I'm saying? You have to put the world on lockdown and all this other crap that's going on. So to keep from getting off track, a lot of people see this as the government. They see it as something to do with the devil or whatever. But you have to look at it from a spiritual standpoint, from a biblical standpoint. The Most High said he would redeem his chosen people, right? And he also promised to make a complete and utter end of all the nations where he has scattered his chosen people. But he would not make a complete and full end of his chosen seed. So, if the end of the 400-year captivity was in 2019, the beginning of 2020, we have the coronavirus, we have COVID-19, I should say. Like I said, you have to think of it from a spiritual standpoint. That's all I'm going to say. Now, if you watch the movie Songbird, which is available on YouTube, I'm not advertising it whatsoever, but if you watch the movie Songbird, it's about COVID-23. And in the movie, it shows you that there are some people that are immune to the COVID virus. But the large majority of the populations around the world, or the populations of the world, have to be quarantined on a daily basis, and they have to do daily checks, like daily temperature checks, and they use their phones, and the phone scans their face, and it checks their temperature, and it tells them if there's any anomalies, irregularities, whatever. And if there is, even if they have a slightly high temperature, they coming to get your ass. And now I'm just talking about in the movie, but society could be headed in that direction. So they have these quarantine camps, and if you are suspected of having COVID-23 in the movie, they send you to the quarantine camp. And these quarantine camps are like ghettos, basically. There's a lot of violence and death and destruction and all other kinds of nonsense going on in these camps, in these quarantine camps. The only people that don't have to quarantine are those who are immune, and they have to wear these special bracelets with all of their information on it, showing and proving that they are immune. Also, the population was under martial law, and they had curfews and so on and so forth. So, like I said all that to say that there could be the direction that society is heading. Like I said, the movie was based on the COVID-23 virus. We just did COVID-19. So if the virus continues to evolve, it could very well end up coming to COVID-23, COVID-24, whatever. Now, the thing about COVID-23 was, in the movie, it was deadly. It was even more deadly than COVID-19 because COVID-23 attacked your nervous system. And in the movie, if you contracted COVID-23, you died within 72 hours. So, like I said, you have to think of this from a spiritual perspective. You have to wonder if there is not a bigger or larger or grander plan at play. And I'm not talking about from the shadow government, from the deep state, from the illuminated. I'm speaking from a biblical perspective. You have to consider that the Most High is doing what he said he would do, which is bring back his people from captivity. We know for a fact, if you actually read scripture, if you actually read the Bible like you should, we know for a fact that in the times of Egypt, when the Hebrews were in captivity in Egypt, the Most High used Moses and Aaron, well, mostly Moses, to plead with the Pharaoh of Egypt to let his chosen people go. And the Pharaoh was being stubborn. He was being stiff-necked. He was being hard-hearted. And he refused to let the Hebrews go. So what did the Most High do? He sent plagues on all of Egypt. And I believe I read this in the Apocalypse of Abraham. It was either in the Apocalypse of Abraham or the Apocalypse of Elijah, where the Most High actually sent an angel to Egypt. And he told the angel to mark those that groaned because of the misdeeds of the Egyptians, that basically didn't love Egyptian society and didn't worship the Pharaoh. He told the angel to go through and mark all of those people in their right hand and in their forehead, to give them the mark of the Most High. And then, after all of those people were marked, that's when the Most High sent the plague. And in the Bible, or in the regular Bible, or whatever, in the Torah, because that's where it actually is, in the Torah, you only get a half perspective of what took place in Egypt, because it only tells you about marking the doorpost with lamb's blood. And that was during the Passover of the Spirit. You know, when I guess Moses told, was it Moses? Yeah, it had to be Moses. Moses told Moses told all the people of Egypt to mark their doorposts with lamb's blood, right? And those who did it, their firstborn son, or their firstborn in general, I guess, would be spared when the Spirit came. But those who didn't, the firstborn would be taken. So you see a lot of other plagues too. You see the frogs, you see the locust, and all this other stuff that was going on. But my point is that since the Pharaoh chose not to let the Hebrews go, let God's or the Most High's chosen seed go, the Most High sent plagues upon Egypt. Excuse me 1 second. I want to say there was a scripture where the sun was darkened as one of the plagues of Egypt. I might be wrong. But historically, in the Bible, whenever the sun is darkened, that's supposed to be like an omen of the coming plagues or coming destruction. So we just had an eclipse on December 14th. Now, it was a total solar eclipse, but you couldn't see it in the Americas. You could only, well, I mean, you couldn't see it in North America. You could only see it in Central and South America. And I want to say parts of Africa. So, excuse me, I have to pause. So, hopefully, I can continue the video after I pause it. If not, I'll redo the video at I'll just continue where I left off. All right, my good people, I'm back like I never left. All right, so let's go to, what is it, Matthew chapter 13 or Matthew chapter 30. Oh, wait, there is no chapter 30. What is it? There it is. Matthew chapter 24. My bad. All right. So in Matthew chapter 24, you get the coming of the Son of Man. Verse 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. All right, so focusing on verses 29 and 30. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened. Like I just said, there was a total solar eclipse on December 14th. Excuse me. Now, the total solar eclipse was invisible from all countries or all nations or all the continents. Like I said, it was only seen from South and Central America and parts of Africa. But What people fail to realize when it says the sun shall be darkened is that it never says that the whole world will see that the sun is darkened. It never said that all the nations will see that the sun is darkened. It just says that the sun will be darkened, right? Now, even if we don't see that the sun is darkened, in the day and age that we live in, we still know that there is an eclipse because of the news reports, because of astronomy, right? They tell us every time there is an eclipse. So even if we can't see I should say, even if the eclipse is invisible from where we are, we know that there is an eclipse taking place, which I always thought of as weird. Because if there is an eclipse, why isn't it visible to everywhere the sun is shining on, basically, right? So if it's daytime in this part of the world, which I live in the United States, so if it's daytime on this part of the world, why is it that only South America and Central America can see the eclipse? Why can't North America see the eclipse? Right? Doesn't make sense. At least not to me. But it says, and the moon shall not give her light. So on the 14th, the moon, it wasn't a new moon, but let's see. Oh, it was a new moon. Okay, so, whew, I'm starting to feel the spirit a little bit now. So, the moon shall not give its light, meaning it is a new moon. Because we know when there is a lunar eclipse that it's not actually an eclipse. The moon turns red, which we call a blood moon, and it's usually a full moon when it's a lunar eclipse. So, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. There was also a meteor shower December 14th. It, I guess they took it down because it already passed. But oh, there it is at the bottom. I was trying to highlight it. But December 13th through the 14th, this is 2021. But 2020 was the Geminids meteor shower. There we go. The peak of the Geminids meteor shower was December 13th through the 14th, 2020. It lasts from December 4th to December 17th, but the peak is December 13th through December 14th. And the parent is the Meteor 3200 Python, which Python is a Egyptian god, I want to say. And Python is a snake. It also sounds like Python, which is a snake. Excuse me. Also, on before December 14th, you had news reports of Donald Trump's presidency ending. And I want to say it was Forbes. Exactly. Yeah, it was Forbes. All right. So the title of the news report is Donald Trump's presidency will end on the day of a comet, a meteor shower, and a total eclipse of the sun. And this was 4 days before the meteor shower and the eclipse. This was December 10th. The eclipse and the meteor shower was December 14th. It will be no ordinary Monday. In the early hours of December 14th, 2020, the year's biggest and most impressive meteor shower will strike the Geminids. A few hours later, a darkness will come to the day as a rare total eclipse of the sun occurs. Observers in the path of totality in South America are hoping for a glimpse of the sun's corona, but they'll also be looking for green flashes of Geminids meteors in the twilight, and possibly also a comet close to the spectacle. So, this is all prophetic in a way, because why would they come out with this news report talking about Donald Trump's presidency ending on the day of a meteor shower and a total solar eclipse, as well as a comet's close approach to the Earth, or flyby or whatever? So, two of the prophecies have already been fulfilled. Now, you can say that they were fulfilled years ago. You can say that they were fulfilled in 2017. You can say whatever you want to, right? You can say whatever you like, but you have to consider the times that we are living in. If 1619 was the beginning of Israel's last captivity, or if 1620 was the beginning of Israel's last captivity, then it would make sense. It would make much more sense that things surrounding, or events surrounding, the end of Israel's captivity would happen in the years, I forgot what I was saying, my bad. Excuse me. Let me get my thoughts together. All right, so if Israel's captivity was in 1619 or 1620, then it would only make sense that events surrounding the end of Israel's captivity would happen in the years of the end of Israel's captivity, right? So, if Israel's captivity began in 1619 or 1620, it would only make sense that the events would take place in 2019 or 2020, because those 2 years would be the 400-year mark. So, it says, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. So what is the sign of the Son of Man? The Son of Man is one of the epithets for Christ Jesus, right? What was the sign of Christ's first coming? What people called the Star of Bethlehem, right? That was the sign of Christ's first coming. That was the sign of the Christ being born. What people call the Star of Bethlehem. So, what's happening December 21st? The conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn. What people are calling the Christmas star or the Star of Bethlehem. They say this conjunction hasn't been seen within the last 800 to 400 years. Now in 2017, with the Revelation 12 sign, people were saying that excuse me, oh my God. People were saying that the conjunction between the sun, I believe it was the sun and the brightest star in Leo, which is Regulus, they were saying that that was the Star of Bethlehem. Now, in 2017, I never really believed that. It didn't make sense to me for some reason that that would be the Star of Bethlehem. But immediately when I heard about the conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn, I thought to myself, or I got a word from the Spirit that that was the Star of Bethlehem. That made more sense to me as far as biblical prophecy goes. So, if we are to consider that these first two prophecies came to pass on December 14th, which is the sun shall be darkened and the moon shall not give her light. Well, these first three prophecies. The sun shall be darkened, the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. Now, when it says the stars shall fall from heaven, it never said that any of the stars hit the earth or impacted the earth. It just said the stars shall fall from heaven. So, a meteor shower. Did some of them hit the earth? Possibly. And we possibly just didn't hear about it. Or they came close to the earth and burnt up in the atmosphere. Either way, they fell from heaven. So, all three of these prophecies came to pass on December 14th. The next prophecy would be the sign of the Son of Man appearing in heaven, which would be the Star of Bethlehem. And that will take place on December 21st. So, what does that mean? Does that mean the rapture? Does that mean complete destruction? Does that mean the end of the world? Does that mean Jesus is coming back? What does it mean? Well, let's keep reading to find out. Verse 31. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender, and putteth forth leaves, and ye know that summer is nigh, or near. So likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. So, it says, he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heaven to the other. Who are his elect? No one knows. The Christian church would like to believe that it's everybody that calls on the name of Jesus. Everybody that believes Jesus is the only begotten Son of the Most High. That's what the Christian church would like to believe. They believe they are the elect. They believe they are saved from persecution and tribulation and destruction. But in truth, nobody knows who the elect is. Hebrews like to believe that if you are a Hebrew, that you are a part of the elect. You are a part of the chosen. But do we know that for a fact? No, we can read all the scriptures we like. We can read all the scriptures we want until we get a headache about how Hebrews are the Most High's chosen people. But does that make us the elect? No, it doesn't. It doesn't say anywhere in scripture that just because the Hebrews are the chosen people of the Most High, they are also the elect. I believe the elect are the 144,000. But my point being is that just because you read this scripture and you have faith in the Most High, or you have faith in Jesus Christ, and you just a devout Christian, or you're a devout Hebrew, don't get your expectations up. Don't get your hopes up to be taken out of anything, to be taken out of tribulation or anything else. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get your hopes up like that. Just because you read that scripture that says he will gather together his elect from the four winds, don't be so sure of yourself that you going somewhere. Don't be so vain. VAIN. Don't be so vain. Excuse me, y'all. But let's continue with is it Matthew 28? Nah. I just saw it. I literally just saw it. Stop it. Stop it. Is that not what I spelled? I don't know what be up with my Bible app, man. They done started changing so much stuff on this Bible app. I can't never find the scriptures that I'm looking for. Okay, there we go. It's Matthew chapter 25, if you are following along. Matthew chapter 25, the parable of the 10 virgins. Verse 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps, and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5... I'm sorry. I just had to pause because I just realized this is literally after Matthew chapter 24. So, face palm. My bad, y'all. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps, and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps, and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh. Go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came. And they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily, I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh. All right, so where do we see you know not the day nor the hour? Matthew chapter 24, right? No man knoweth the day and hour. Matthew chapter 24, verse 36. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came, and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Then shall 2 be in the field, the one shall be taken, and the other left. 2 women shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken, and the other left. Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth cometh, or come. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known and would watch, the thief would come, he would have watched, and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore, be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh. Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord hath made rule over his household, to give them meat in due season? Blessed is that servant, whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. Verily I say unto you, that he shall make him ruler over all his goods. And if that evil servant shall say in his heart, My Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to smite his fellow servants, and to eat and drink with the drunken, the Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of, and shall cut him asunder, and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. All right, so now let's get into it. Why am I reading all of these scriptures? Because you have to get a clear understanding of what's about to take place. Like I said, people have questions about December 21st. What's going on? What's going to happen? You know, what's finna go down? What's finna take place? So, reading these scriptures hopefully gives you a better understanding of what's about to take place. So, the next sign would be the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, which is the Star of Bethlehem, which is on December 21st, the Winter Solstice. And isn't it also crazy how, like I said, December 14th was the total solar eclipse and the meteor shower, which was on a Monday. Next is the Great Conjunction, which is what they call it, the Great Conjunction, as well as the planetary alignment, which is also on a Monday, which is December 21st. So, y'all know I have my watch days. One of my watch days was the 14th. I didn't have a watch day for the 11th, did I? I had a watch day for the 3rd. I had a watch day for the 6th and the 9th, even though it's not showing up because I forgot to put it in there. I had a watch day for the 12th. I had a watch day for the 14th. I had a watch day for the 17th. And things of significance did happen on some of these days. I just haven't been documenting them like I usually do. So I can't remember what exactly took place on some of these days. But I do remember that some things of significance happened on majority of these days. Especially December 14th. December 14th is the most significant day so far in December. I have a watch day for December 20th, December 21st, of course, Christmas Eve and Christmas, of course, New Year's Eve, New Year's Eve and New Year's. So, the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, December 21st, 2020. Oh, y'all looking at the wrong thing. Let's go to Revelation chapter 12 again. Oh, wait. I brought this up because I wanted to read it, but I didn't read it. So I'm going to read it. First, I'm going to show you this picture, if I can get it. This is the Revelation 12 sign from, I guess, like Stellarium, I think. I think they took this picture from Stellarium. September 23rd, 2017, which was also Yom Teruah, Rosh Hashanah, Feast of Trumpets. So you have 9 stars in Leo. You have Venus Mars, and Mercury of Virgo's head. This is the crown of 12 stars, so they say. She was clothed with the sun. You have the sun right here, just above Virgo's shoulder. You have the moon at her feet. And you have, if you can't see it, you have the moon at her feet. And you have Jupiter going into the sign of Virgo and going retrograde for 42 weeks, which is 9 months. So September 23rd, 2017, this is what they say was the Revelation 12 sign, or the sign of the woman, the sign of the woman in birth in the heavens. The Revelation 12 sign prophecy is an apocalyptic belief that an astronomical alignment on September 23rd, 2017, fulfilled the first two verses of Revelation chapter 12. This date coincided with the autumnal equinox and the end of the Catholic September Ember Days. This theory, promoted by some Christians and Christian news organizations, proposed that a literal fulfillment of the prophecy made in the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verses 1 and 2, occurred on this date over Jerusalem. The passage in the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verses 1 through 3, describes a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on her head. She was pregnant and cried out in pain as she was about to give birth. Some people believe that an astronomical alignment involving the constellations Virgo and Leo, the sun, moon, and planets Mercury, Mars, Venus, and Jupiter that occurred in September 2017 fulfilled this prophecy word for word. The sign is also known as the Woman of the Apocalypse. Some of the most common Christian interpretations of this passage interpret the woman as Mary, or ancient Israel, the man-child as the incarnate Jesus, and the teknon child being the body of Christ, and the woman's other offspring as the church that forms during the tribulation. So this is what people consider to be the Revelation 12 sign being fulfilled. Like I said, September 23rd, 2017. So, just to get more into it, if you were to look at like Stellarium or something, any stargazing app or constellation viewing app where you can view the constellations and the planets and stuff, if you were to span to the left of Virgo, you have the constellation Draco. If you were to span to the left of Virgo, starting at her feet, and you span to the left, the constellation Draco is across from Virgo to the left, under her feet. So that is another reason that they say Revelation chapter 12 was fulfilled. Also, you had a meteor shower around that time, and it was the Draconids, I think. That's how you say it. Okay, so The Draconids actually start around October, early October though, around October 6th to October 10th. So this is a few days after what people consider to be the Revelation chapter 12 sign. So we go back to 2017. You go to September 23rd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, which we should all know a little something about the number 13 by now. And I'm not good at math. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all are like, come on, dude, you didn't know that it was 13 days after the Revelation 12 sign. No, I did not. Okay, so that would mean that the Draconids meteor shower started 13 days after the supposed Revelation chapter 12 sign. So like I said, we should all know a little something about the number 13 by now. Also, a lot of Christians believe that the Revelation chapter 12 sign was a sign of the Antichrist being born. Now, that might very well be true. I'm not sure. But what I really wanted to look at is I wanted to look at some more scriptures about the stars falling from heaven and stuff. All right, so I'm going to start with the seals. Now, keep the sign of the coming of the Son of Man in your head, right? Keep all of those scriptures from Matthew chapter 24 in your head concerning the signs of the coming of the Son of Man. The sun being darkened, the sun being darkened, the moon not giving its light, the stars falling from heaven, then the sign of the Son of Man showing in heaven, right? Keep that in your mind. These are the seals. Revelation chapter 6, verse 1. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, Come and see. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him. And he went forth conquering and to conquer. And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, Come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, Come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, Come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the truth of the Most High, and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? And white robes were given unto every one of them. And it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season, until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs, when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? And after these things, I saw four angels standing on the four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the four angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. So, I wanted to bring this to people's attention because like I said, the Christian church would like to believe that they are the elect. Hebrews would like to believe that all of Israel or all Hebrews are the elect. But Revelations chapter 6 and chapter 7 gives a different account. It gives a different perspective. It gives a different story. What 144,000 out of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Only 144,000. And we know this aligns with Matthew chapter 24, because in the beginning of Revelation chapter 7, the very first verse, it says, And after these things I saw four angels standing on the four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. Now let's go back to Matthew chapter 24. Matthew chapter 24, verse 31. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. So, who are the elect? The 144,000. Like I said in the earlier on in the video, I believe the elect are the 144,000. So not all of Israel will be saved. It said 144,000 out of all the tribes of the children of Israel. And they are not taken away. They're not snatched up. They're not snatched away. They're not caught up. They're not caught away. They are gathered together. Why are they gathered together? To be sealed, to be given the seal of the Most High in their right hands and in their foreheads. But it doesn't say that they were taken to heaven. It doesn't say where they were taken, actually. It just says that they were gathered together. It doesn't say that they were caught up. It doesn't say that they were snatched away, anything of the sorts. It just says that they were gathered together from the four corners of the earth. And they were given the seal of the Most High. So, in Matthew chapter 24, you see that it gives a few signs of what's to take place before the sealing of the 144,000. In Revelation chapter 6, you get a broader perspective of what's to take place before the sealing of the 144,000. Now, majority of these don't have to do with destruction. But it might have to do with destruction on dealing with a long-term perspective, but not on an immediate perspective. The first seal was the white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. This could have already happened, and probably already did. The second seal was the red horse, which I told you in another video. The red horse is Mars, or Ares, the god of war. That's why power was given to him to take peace from the earth, that they should kill one another. And he was given a great sword. A sword is a symbol of war, right? In medieval times, they used to go to war with swords and bows and arrows, or crossbows and stuff, right? So the I don't know if they had generals back then, but the general of the king's army, or the king himself, or the prince, they would be at the forefront of the army, right? And what would they always do in these movies, in these in like these Viking movies and these medieval movies, before they go to war with somebody else? They'll raise their sword up, right? They'll raise their sword up in the sky, and they'll yell, and then the rest of the army will raise their swords up, and they'll yell, and then they'll go off in the battle, right? So the second horse is Ares, or Mars, the god of war. And there's been war on this planet for as long as they go back in history. There's been war. So we know for a fact that the second horse is already here. But is it talking about a future war, like World War III or Civil War in the United States? But it says peace from the earth, so you will have to assume that it's talking about, at the most, World War III. All right, so the third horse was the black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And so a voice from the midst of the four beasts. So Who this voice is, nobody knows. He just came out of the midst of the four beasts. In the opening of the other two seals, or the other three seals, what seal am I on? Yeah, in the opening of the other two seals, you get a clear distinction of who's talking, because he says, I heard the first beast say, I heard the second beast say. But when it comes to the third seal, a voice out of the midst of the four beasts speaks. So who is this mystery man? Who is this mystery voice that is being heard, that is speaking? And he says, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. So, like I said, again, no destruction yet. Except for peace was taken from the earth, that they should kill one another. But this is not like destruction on a grand scale, because we have homicides every day. We have murders every day, right? There's been, like I said, there's been wars since as far back as we can remember in history, or as far back as they tell us in history. All right, so the fourth seal, the pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beast of the earth. So, if you watch the YouTuber Big Judah has stated in many videos, and still to this day states in his videos, that the 3 parts is across the ocean. It's Europe and Asia, right? The 3 parts is not Europe. Is that continent called Europe? Yeah, it is called Europe. And Europe and Asia, right? That's the 3 parts. You got the United Kingdom, you got China, you got Russia, you got India, you got all those other places, right? What they consider to be the Middle East. You got Africa. Africa, Europe, and Asia are the 3 parts. And then the Americas, North and South America, well, North, South, and Central America, those are the 4th part. So Europe, Africa, and Asia are the 3 parts. And the Americas are the 4th part. So, why is that significant? It says, because power was given unto death and hell over the 4th part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beast of the earth. Now, the 4th seal and the 4th horse could be considered destruction on a large scale. It could be. But still, in my opinion, it's not destruction on a large scale. Because we know over here in the Americas, we have death, we have hunger, we have homicides, we have rapes, robberies, etc., right? To kill with the sword. Guns. A sword is just a weapon, right? So, guns, knives, etc. To kill with hunger. We have, well, I'm not good at statistics, so, but we have a large number of homeless in the United States, right? They're going hungry every day. And with death. I have no idea what that means, because how can you kill with death? I guess natural causes, I guess. And with the beast of the earth. We have bird flu, mad cow disease, swine flu, salmonella. You got, you name it. There are so many diseases in these animals that could kill us. And that's what I believe it says with the beast of the earth. I don't believe the actual beast of the earth are, well, I mean, animals are killing people. You know what I'm saying? But I believe it's talking about with these diseases that these animals carry. So the fifth seal is those that were killed for having the truth of the Most High standing under the altar. That's no large-scale destruction, is it? The sixth seal is a great earthquake, and the sun becomes black as sackcloth, so a solar eclipse, and the moon became as blood, or becomes as blood, which is a lunar eclipse, and the stars fall onto the earth, which is a meteor shower. But still, no large-scale destruction. Now, it doesn't say where this great earthquake takes place. This isn't one of the scriptures where it says the whole world felt the earthquake. It just says there was a great earthquake. It doesn't give a clear destination, if that's the word I'm looking for. It doesn't give a clear destination of where the earthquake took place, though. Now, in Revelation chapter 6, it actually says that the stars of heaven fell unto the earth. In Matthew chapter 24, it just says that the stars fell from heaven. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich man, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? So, once you get to Revelation chapter 6, I believe this is where the sign of the Son of Man in heaven comes into play. Because immediately after Revelation chapter 6, after the sixth seal, you get the 144,000 sealed. And that coincides with Matthew chapter 24, verse 31. So I believe once you get to the sixth seal, this is where the sign of the Son of Man comes into view, or comes into play. And then what do you get after the 144,000 sealed? You get the white-robed multitude first. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people. And like I said in a previous video, I believe the white-robed multitude is the 144,000 too. Why do I believe that? Because the 144,000 are gathered from all four corners of the earth. The Most High gathers them, or sends his angels to gather them from all of the nations where he has gathered thee. And it says, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues. So, you might say, if it's a great multitude which no man could number, how could it be the 144,000? And I explained that in the previous video, how just because it says no man could number them doesn't mean that they couldn't be numbered. It could very well mean that no man would take the time to count them all because it was such a great multitude. Like, who would literally sit there and try to count all 144,000 of those men or of those people, right? But before that, in verse 4, he says, I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000. So he heard the number of them that were sealed, but they are still a great multitude which no man could have numbered. So he couldn't have numbered them unless he heard the number of them that were sealed. So the white robe multitude, in my opinion, is the 144,000. All right, so they stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands, and cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our God, which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb. And all the angels stood round about the throne, and about the elders and the four beasts, and fell before the throne on their faces, and worshipped the Most High, saying, Amen. Blessing, and glory, and wisdom, and thanksgiving, and honor, and power, and might be unto our God forever and ever. Amen. And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, What are these which are arrayed in white robes? And whence came they? And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said to me, These are they which came out of great tribulation, and have washed their robes, and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Therefore are they before the throne of the Most High, and serve him day and night in his temple. And he that sitteth on the throne shall dwell among them. They shall hunger no more, neither thirst any more, neither shall the sun light on them, nor any heat. For the Lamb, which is in the midst of the throne, shall feed them, and shall lead them unto living fountains of water. And the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. All right, so one thing that Christians believe is that they are Gentiles, right? So, if you read scriptures, you know that Gentiles are not allowed inside the temple. So this great multitude served the Most High in his temple day and night. So the great multitude couldn't be the Christian church, right? Because the Christian church is Gentiles. They are Gentiles. All right, Revelation chapter 11. I'm going to start at verse 1. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, Rise, and measure the temple of the Most High, and the altar, and them that worship therein. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles. And the holy city shall they tread underfoot 40 and 2 months. Right? So the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles. So if Christians believe they are Gentiles, how can they believe that they are the bride of Christ, or they are the great multitude that is taken to heaven and taken before the throne of the Most High? How can you believe that? Only Hebrews or Israelites are allowed in the temple of the Most High. Gentiles have to stand outside of the temple, stand outside in the court. That is what is reserved for the Gentiles. I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't know. I forgot what made me bring that up. Oh, just to kind of prove my point that the great multitude is not the Christian church. My bad. I remember now. All right, so the great multitude couldn't be the Christian church, because the great multitude served the Most High in his temple. But if the great multitude was a multitude of Gentiles, they would not be able to serve the Most High in his temple, because Gentiles are not allowed in the temple. So like I said, I believe the great multitude to be the 144,000. Now, after the sealing of the 144,000, you get the seventh seal in Revelation chapter 8. And when he had opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of 30 minutes. And I saw the seven angels which stood before the Most High, and to them were given seven trumpets. And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer. And there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all the saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. So this is the beginning of the trumpets. And the smoke of the incense, which came with the prayers of the saints, ascended up before the Most High out of the angel's hand. And the angel took the censer and filled it with fire of the altar, and cast it into the earth. And there were voices, and thunderings, and lightnings, and an earthquake. And seven angels, which had the seven trumpets, prepared themselves to sound. So, if December 21st is the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, after that sign, you have the 144,000 being sealed. And then after the 144,000 are sealed, you have the trumpets, the seven trumpets. So, this is heavy, y'all. This heavy. Because I always had word from the Spirit that between 2020 and 2024, it would be the worst time for humanity. it was going to be a lot of crazy things that were going to take place. COVID-19 is just the beginning. We can see where the world is headed just by looking at the United States. We can see where the United States is headed just by looking at COVID-19 and the election. So, with the 144,000 being sealed, who knows what comes with that, really? You know what I'm saying? As far as people believing that they're going to get superpowers and shit. Like, I don't knock nobody's beliefs, but like I said, who knows what comes with the 144,000 being sealed. But it's only a 144,000 out of all the tribes of the children of Yisrael. So no, it's not all black people getting superpowers. No, it's not all the people that's woke getting superpowers. No, it's not all the people that live a healthy lifestyle and meditate every day and on an alkaline diet. And no, it's not. I could look at it from a deeper spiritual perspective, which the 144,000 being sealed is, it does have to do with you being awake. It does have to deal with you having a spiritual connection to Source, to the Most High. It does have to do with you opening your third eye, whether your third eye is open or not. That's why they are sealed in their foreheads. Right? It does have to do with whether your chakras are open or not. And in order for me to get into that, I would have to continue the video on my dream vision, which I plan on doing, but I feel like I've ran this video long enough. So with that being said, I'm going to end the video right here. And the next video that I make is going to be the continuation of my dream vision. I'm going to actually break it down better than what I did in the video, in the first video. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you stayed until the end, I really appreciate you. I want to say I appreciate you guys for your continued support. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Click that notification button so you be up on all my new videos. You know what I'm saying? Whenever I post a new video, you'll be the first to know because you clicked that notification button. But with that being said, I want to thank you guys for watching. And until next video, I'm out.